Hey guys, welcome back to F&G Whiskey. Today we got a little bit of different show for you. We're going to go over some whiskey terms. Hey guys, welcome back. So today we got a little bit of different show for you. We're going to go over some different bourbon terms and kind of associate bottles with those terms. And yeah, hopefully this will help any newbies out there, or anybody that's new to bourbon, or maybe you've heard a term for a while and just never knew what it was. So hopefully we can shed some light on that. Like, comment, subscribe. Always looking for new pointers on stuff you may want for the channel, so feel free to reach out. So first item on the list, we're going to go through about 10 of them, and the last one's like kind of a funny one, so hold on for that one. But the term straight bourbon whiskey, straight bourbon, that means that it needs to be in a barrel, a charred barrel, new oak charred barrel for a minimum of 2 years. A lot of people have seen that, probably not know what it meant, but that's kind of the thought for that. Next would be bottled and bond. Bottled and bond has basically 3 criteria. I believe it has to be at 100 proof, has to be distilled within the same season, so spring or fall, and then a single distillery, and then it has to be a minimum of 4 years in a federally bonded warehouse. A good example of that is going to be this pretty bottle here, Old Fitzgerald. All of their bottles come bottled and bond, so they're always going to be at that 100 proof point. So that's something really cool to remember that by when you see bottled and bond. Hopefully that'll help you guys out when you see bottles on the shelf and kind of wonder what that BIB means. Next, we're going to go through the difference of a single barrel versus a small batch. So I've got 2 E.H. Taylors here, both bottled and bond, but this one's a small batch. So what that means is this is several barrels, or 1 or 2 barrels. That's the kind of the funny thing with small batch, is there really is no rule to it, so it can be a batch of anything. But it's a small batch and it's blended together, and why they do a batch versus a single barrel is they want more consistency usually on that. Where a single barrel on this one, this particular one was picked from a store, that is just 1 barrel that store picked, and you're going to get all the flavors and nuances that particular barrel, brought out in the distillate that you put in there. So kind of an interesting thing there. But yeah, small batch, single barrel, there's the difference. Age statement. So on a bottle, there is, like this Old Fitz, there is an age statement. This one states 9 years. So that means the youngest juice in this bottle is 9 years. So you can grab a 15-year and a 2-year bottle and put them together, and the age statement has to say 2 years. So that's one thing that you need to know. If you see a blend, then they're going to go with the lowest age of the whiskey in there. So I know with this Old Fitzgerald right here that the youngest juice in this bottle is 9 years old. Hopefully that makes sense. Next on the list is Angel Share. So what is Angel Share? When you put the distillate into a barrel, the overall consensus is that it's going to lose about 2% of that barrel, and that's known as the Angel Share because it floats up to heaven. It dissipates out of the barrel. So when you have something in a barrel much longer, it's going to, of course, evaporate even more over time. So that causes a little bit more Angel Share. So that's why they usually charge more or proof bottles down, like we see with the Elijah Craig 18 being proofed down so much. It's probably because they lose out so much that they want to have enough for barrels, and therefore they proof it down to make more bottles, therefore making more of a profit. ABV, alcohol by volume, that's pretty standard. Hopefully most people understand what that means, but that's that alcohol to the volume in the bottle. Barrel cask strength, or there's also what's the other one that I have over here? Foolproof. So those are all different terms. So this particular bottle here, bare knuckle, is cask strength. So that means that the cask, when it came out of the cask, it was at this proof point. Then we've got this Stag Junior here where it says barrel proof. Now that is very similar to cask strength. It came out of the barrel at this proof point. So that's the proof point that they put on the bottle. But one that's a little bit different is foolproof. Now this is not barrel proof or cask strength. The difference in this one is they put it in at an entry point of 125. Then when it came out, they proofed it down back to what the foolproof, the proof was that they put in there. So kind of different than the cask strength and barrel proof. All right, blend or blender. So at the distillery, they may have a particular blender that blends everything together. And if you're wondering like what bottles do this, the perfect example I can say is the Bardstown Discovery Series. Now they have a blender that has blended, and I love the transparency on the bottle because it tells you this is a blend of 66% of a 12-year Kentucky bourbon, even gives you the mash bill on the side. And then it has a 17% of Indiana 7-year bourbon. So that, and then it gives you that mash bill. And then 11% of Ontario 12-year, and that is, and then the mash bill. And then 6% Indiana 6-year. So the crazy thing with this bottle is you would have to put on here that this is a 6-year age statement because the youngest juice in this bottle is 6 years. It's coming in 114.1 proof, but they don't bother to put an age statement on it due to the transparency on the side of the bottle. So they have a master blender that would blend all this together to give you the outcome here. So hopefully that makes sense on that. And last, tater. We've heard the term tater. Now, I think it's different to a bunch of different people. My perception of tater is somebody who goes into every liquor store and they particularly look for just Buffalo Trace allocated products. They leave with nothing else. They are a bona fide tater. They only drink Blanton's, only drink, Weller. And that is my idea of a tater. And also I would say they aren't willing to share. If they go into a store and they see 6 Blantons, they want all 6 of the Blantons if there's no thing that says 1 per customer. That to me is the definition of a tater. Let me know what you think. Comment down below what your definition of a tater is. Like, comment, subscribe. As I always say, we're trying to build a sense of community, so go seek me out on different social media platforms. Give me advice on whatever you think we need or should do for the channel. Keep searching for that perfect pour. Cheers, guys.